Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from tuning in after the live stream. I appreciate you all checking the channel. I'm going to do a little yapping, so it appears I was trying to upload to Bumble, and I'm going to keep uploading to Bumble. And I appreciate my new subscribers on Bumble, but I tell you what, boy, that is one aggravating platform to try to upload to. So, yeah, I wasted 2 hours. 2 hours. The video had 2% left 5 minutes ago and dropped off the screen, totally wiped out, have to start all over again. I'm late for this broadcast, and I emailed him. If it wasn't for Dan Bongino, I wouldn't even think about being on that platform. And for the fine, nice people on Bumble who watch my videos. I think I got 415 subscribers over there, and I thank you much. So I'll keep trying to upload, but I tell you what, on my thumbnail, and then you got to get your mind right for what you want to talk about on the new live stream. So I don't know. Maybe Canada can bring everybody in from India to figure out how to upload a flipping video. So anyway, I'm going to get into that. Elon Musk, Vivek, Ramaswamy, what are they thinking? These geniuses, these two superior beings, really putting their foots in their mouth and making everybody mad. And I put this up with Trump saying I don't trust anyone, and he said that when they said. He was standing next to Bibi Netanyahu. Remember that? I showed a picture of it. They said, do you trust Netanyahu? Right in front of Netanyahu. And Trump said, I don't trust anyone. So not so much as whether they're good people or not, but whether or not under pressure, under certain circumstances, they can behave properly and put the right foot forward and get the right message across. And apparently, Elon and Vivek don't have that quality, okay, at all times. Vivek, he's slick with his debating and BS, stuff like that. Elon has got his head on his shoulders right for the most part. But with this latest unnecessary controversy, they really showed that they got some leadership issues they got to develop. But like I say in my thumbnail, gonna have to eat a little humble pie. Hi, Melinda, how you doing? KNS Cleanup and Sherry, Finding Dory, nice to see you. Merry Christmas. Sissy, Flannel Cheese. Angela, Robin, Max here. Yeah, Debbie's here too. Stan's here. And Wayne usually tells everybody to give me a thumbs up, but I don't see him yet. So make sure you all give me a thumbs up. Like Trump said, Elon can't be president because he wasn't born in this country. So anyway, I got a couple of videos to play for you. We're dealing with this supposed rift in MAGA. It's not a rift in MAGA. You had two people that are they got their heads swollen up. They're all excited. They're on the world stage. They're working with the most famous individual in the world right now, which is Donald J. Trump. And even I guess whoever came closest to it would probably be Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin was probably the most famous person in the world in his day. And then Abraham Lincoln. But now you have Donald Trump. And he's with the technology, media. Used to be Ben Franklin's face was the most recognizable. You know why? His face was the most recognizable? They might not have known who he was, but they knew damn good and well what he stood for. Stood for because his face was on a $100 bill. Ben Franklin. So anyway, hi, Gloria. Nice to see you. Miss Bendersu. Nice to see you. Roland. Ha ha. Can't find Mountain Man 2 on Rumble. It's all one word. Mountain Man Speaks, Roland. Mountain Man Speaks, all one word. Ha ha. Go to Mountain Man Speaks, all one word. And then when it pops up, you hit on the blue circle with the M in the middle, and it'll take you to my most recent videos. It'll put up there some videos, but they're not the most recent. Hi, Araceli. How you doing? Nice to see you. Buenas noches. Araceli is letting everybody know buenas noches. See, yeah, we're multicultural here, except I'm not too crazy about people doing you-know-what in the streets. So we get this, and another thing that we're going to talk about, and his legacy, I want to see how they're going to go over Carter's legacy. I'm going to read what Trump said about it. Perfectly appropriate discussion about Carter's legacy and him as a person. And I will remind you that Jimmy Carter was the only one who did not get a white note during the funeral for George H.W. Most of you all in the chats know exactly what I'm talking about. And he was a good man. He was a good man. But like I've said in the past, I had friends like him. The smartest dumb person I ever met. Book learning and, he was in the Navy. I'm sure he knew all his regulations and this and that. But common sense, instinct, no. We can thank Carter for the current situation in Iran, the current style of leadership by mullahs and ayatollahs, which is perfectly fine with Barack Hussein Obama, but it wasn't perfectly fine with us. And we can thank Jimmy Carter for as Trump has pointed out, for the history books to update and remember him giving away the Panama Canal. So the left goes around trying to vilify Trump. He's trying to take people over. He's trying to take advantage of the Panamanian people. They don't report the truth. I doubt that they ever will. People have to get intelligence and not trust anyone. When they listen to the media, they have to check the facts for themselves. There is a treaty, an agreement that they have not been living up to. They're not allowed to jack up their prices like they are and take advantage of the American consumer. They're not allowed to have a communist entity having soldiers around a canal that we need for our economic lifeblood. They're violating the treaty, and Trump has been saying, not only with that, but with the UN not keeping up with their end of the deal, paying bills, all the places we're getting screwed over, where people look at birthright citizenship. That's not the Constitution. That was created through malfeasance by government officials that allow that to happen when it is prohibited in the Constitution. You don't become a citizen if your parents we have no jurisdictional interest in them. But misfeasance or malfeasance, either one, whether they did it on purpose or they're just stupid, they started granting citizenship, birthright citizenship, in the 60s and 70s in violation of the Constitution. And Trump is just pointing all these things out. It's time for us to stop being taken advantage of. What is it with these damn lefties that they want to have disdain for Trump more than they want to love their country? What is wrong with them? And, with Vivek and Elon causing this nationwide upheaval with a subject they had no business really putting their 2 cents in, you can't help but say to yourself, Vivek and Elon both. It's not like you were born here, okay? And to take a broad brush, never mind anything about color, whether they're country folk, city folk, white, black, Asian, or whatever. All Americans, this big brush gets slapped across the social media screen, are lazy and ignorant and don't have the education, don't have the motivation. Let me tell you something. I should do it like Fire Marshal Bob, is it? Let me tell you something. But, hey, from the Industrial Revolution up until the atomic age, this country lapped every other country in the world in technology and advancement and quality of life, wealth and prosperity. And it was called American ingenuity. Remember that term? American ingenuity. All through the industrial age. And we didn't bring people in on special visas. I remember when they gave Winston Churchill honorary citizenship. Very rare. Because that's when we valued citizenship. Now they throw it out like bags of popcorn. But they're fraudulent bags of popcorn, okay? And Trump is going to set the record straight. Now, of course, we're not going to send people away that have lived their whole lives in this country, but we're going to get a handle on it, and we're going to start putting some rules, new rules in place, and start enforcing some old rules. And you have this distraction coming from these high-minded, galaxy brain, they fancy themselves, types like Vivek and Elon Musk. You're supposed to be looking at waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, and keep it at that, okay? Because both of you are replaceable. Both of you are replaceable. So when I put this up about Trump, I don't trust anyone, it's not about their intentions. He doesn't trust anyone as far as their judgment, okay? The road to hell's paved with good intentions, right? Hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Lori, how you doing? Hebrew Hammer. Nice to see you. Theodosius. Hi, Ann. How are you? Nice to see you. So anyway, I tell you, this thing with Laura Loomer, I was trying to think of what to compare it to. And, knee-jerk. I always try to tell people, and I try to tell myself, don't have a knee-jerk reaction to everything that happens. You got to kind of look at it and cogitate for at least a minute before you blow your cork. And I was thinking, you go to the doctor's office, right? And they take one of those rubber mallets, little rubber mallet, and tap your knee, and your foot goes up, Well, with social media, the little rubber mallet called social media, if you tap Laura Loomer's knee, she'll kick her foot up so high she hits the doctor in the jaw. She's just a firebrand. And like Trump said, she's a free spirit. They tried to sew Trump up in a little trick bag with Laura Loomer when she said something, a little rough or controversial or whatever. And after she was on Air Force One. And Trump said exactly that. She's a free spirit. He said, I can't control her. I'm willing to talk and listen to their perspectives, just as any good leader should. But I can't control her, and she's passionate. I think that's what he said. She's passionate. And there you have it. You got to take her for what she is. Now with Elon, he gets criticized, not just from Loomer, but half the internet was insulted, as far as American citizens go. And Elon takes that, he's not used to criticism. He's it's Elon, yay! Well, he gets a little pushback for digging up bones on something that needs to be adjusted, needs to be reformed, is definitely of interest to people, but not at this moment in time. So he gets his chop smacked, and his little rubber mallet hits his knee, and he doesn't both his feet go in the air. Never mind the one foot kicking the doctor in the chin. The other foot goes up and hits the nurse in the rear end. He really goes off and puts out, I might have a copy of that. He puts out a dopey tweet talking about a quote from Talladega Nights. Is this it? I hate putting up stuff like this, but hey, the reason I'm in America along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Well, you know what? I'm going to take those words. You know what he said. People could go F themselves in the face. He'll go to war on the issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. Hey, Elon, you go F yourself. Grow up. Quit acting like a petulant child. Okay? And he's definitely taken a hint. Vivek Ramaswamy put up a tweet he took down. I got a fuzzy copy of it, but the gist of it is he was saying Americans are lazy. I'm surprised he didn't use the term shiftless. And, he at least was smart enough to take that tweet down. But listen here, Elon, I know he's under a lot of pressure. I know there are probably attempts on his life. I know also, just like Trump tweeted out that I read to you all, he wouldn't have bought X if it wasn't for Trump. Okay? He wouldn't have had the money for his satellites if it wasn't for Trump. Okay? So, you better realize where your bread's buttered, and you better quit being so petulant, and you don't need to threaten or curse at the American people. Because after everything we've been through, to hear somebody talk in such a flippant way about bringing even more people in this country, I don't care if it's from India or wherever it's from. This was a stupid ass time to make that declaration. And for Vivek to pile on criticizing the American people, when the American people, especially MAGA, and people getting on board with the Common Sense Party, to hear that they are stupid, lazy, everything that we put up with in a silent fury, how we bided our time, how we got together and started sharing memes and finding facts and spending our time getting the truth out and not losing our you-know-what and going crazy after everything that's been stolen from us. And you all know what I mean. And what we find out has been being stolen from us generationally. How much abuse we went through on this situation with the CVID, all right? And how we still behaved in a civilized manner. to be talked down to like that by these two twits. That's why Trump doesn't trust anybody. And he did the fatherly thing. I'll call it the fatherly thing. Just what I figured. He gave an interview to the Washington Post. And I told you I don't care for the Washington Post 1,000%. I think they put out funny headlines and stuff. But I'm kind of like Trump. I don't trust anybody. So they didn't release a transcript or a recording, but they had their article, Trump talking about this H1 stuff, right? And Trump, in the most, level-headed way, put everybody on the ground instead of up in the ozone about this H1 stuff, right? He said, it's a good program. I've got a lot of them on my property. I think it's a good program. And it needs to be looked at. It needs to be tweaked or whatever. But what he was saying was reminding not just everybody in America, but Elon Musk in particular. What do they think? What does he think they're doing there in Mar-a-Lago? Launching rockets? Okay. A new Manhattan project? No. They're folding sheets, okay, cleaning the rooms, serving people. It is not the egghead, galaxy-brained job programs that Elon is conflating it with. That's called the OUT1. OUT01. See, when I learned how to decipher, it was called OUT1. See, I'm smart, Elon. OUT1 is where you get the galaxy brain. They got a brain like a beach ball, and they know all this stuff. You want to get them into our country so they can help with advances. But the program Elon is talking about is stuff just like Trump very maturely and graciously reminded everyone is service workers, okay? People to clean the pool and mow the grass and stuff like that. And Elon smacks his forehead. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a little bit off on that. Now, as a result, he puts this tweet out. Here. Somebody got a hold of him after a lot of people has got 2 degrees, he's got master's degrees, he's got a doctorate, he's got this and that, and companies won't even take his resume because they're getting government boosts for hiring, favoritism for hiring, air quotes, immigrants under the H-1B system. Okay, so why do they want to, and they pay them a hell of a lot less than they would an American citizen with 2 degrees and a doctorate? And then he can't block everybody. Mr. Freedom of Speech, in his petulance, started taking people down and shadow banning them. Now, he's gone past this, I will say. I'm just saying for the record. And I'm qualifying it by saying, yes, I know he's under a lot of pressure. And yes, I know there are people who want to get rid of Elon Musk. So his reaction would be magnified. But the fact of the matter is that he put his foot in his mouth. He behaved in a hypocritical way by deplatforming people and shadow banning people and censoring people that disagreed with him. He was conflating the H-1 system, immigration system, with the OUT-1 or 01 that is for big brains. And he realized it. and he's eating a little humble pie. He's saying, okay, I made a mistake, Here you had Robert Sterling responded. Elon Musk was saying it's easily fixed by raising the minimum salary significantly. Now, see, he's not admitting he made a mistake and conflated the two programs, and adding a yearly cost for maintaining the H-1B that will help remove the disadvantage to American workers. The lazy, ignorant Americans, making it materially more expensive to hire from the overseas than domestically. Okay, now you're mending fences, Elon. I've been very clear that the program is broken and needs major reform. Oh, really? Well, that's the first I heard of it. What everybody heard was it was a great program and we need to triple, double, quadruple, or whatever the hell you said. And then Vivek piled on. And then the internet collectively smacked you in the chops. And you had a hissy fit. We all do. I've had hissy fits. I had a hissy fit tonight when my video wouldn't upload on Rumble. After waiting 2 hours, 2% left, it disappeared off the flipping screen. So yeah, get some eggheads from India or wherever over to up there to Canada, okay? At least if they do in the streets what Laura Loomer says they do in the streets, it'll freeze. It won't be that big a deal. Just kick it off in the grass or something. I don't know, but they don't know what they're doing there at Bumble. But anyway, Robert Sterling said, agree with all of this. Thanks for your comment, sir. And thank you for saving free speech. Seriously. God bless you and yours this holiday season. Okay, so it's an olive branch. Elon Musk said, you too. And this is probably the only guy that wanted to say something nice to Elon at that particular time. He'll repair it. Elon will come out of this all right. And there's some good things that are going to come out of this I'll talk about in a minute. But he says, you too. I'm confident that the changes made in the at real Donald Trump administration will make America much stronger. So Trump got a handle on it in the most subtle way. He got a handle on it. And actually, not just through cold water on Elon's rant that this was some kind of necessary thing for super smart workers, where he was wrong on that. He also got into most of the MAGA crowd that it's a good program. It just needs to be tweaked. Okay. And the real benefit is the critics that are constantly saying Trump is prejudiced or Trump does not like immigrants. He's getting across the message, I have immigrants working on my property. I support this program, but it needs to be tweaked, okay? So there's good going to come out of it. But, with these kind of headlines here you got Vivek. And I'm sorry, Vivek, but, from now on, every time maybe this will wear off. I better not say it. No, I won't say it. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy face backlash from MAGA movement for not only backing, but offering more visas to foreign-born skilled workers. That's where they're wrong. The H-1B is a skilled worker. Not necessarily, okay? It's all different kinds of workers. So, I was going to... Now I won't say it about Vivek. Anyway, Vivek, Vivek is not going to have a very bright future running in the Republican Party, even though he took that tweet down where he called Americans lazy, whatever term he used, He may have said ignorant, but it definitely was insulting and belittling to the American people as a whole. Good luck with that, Vivek. And, if he was going to keep getting uppity about it, maybe remind him rear end kicked, okay? And after this, and you keep it up, it'll get kicked even more next time you try it, So be glad you're associated with the Trump administration, okay? And both of you learn your boundaries. Elon Musk lashes out with Tropic Thunderline, F yourself in the face if you want to end H-1B visas. Nobody said to end them. You're the one that brought that crap up when it was unnecessary to do it. Jack Posobiec put up, there's this weird dichotomy going on that people are being forced into the binary of pro-H-1B or anti-H-1B. Why? It's from 30 years ago. Trump just won. We can replace it with whatever we want. It's clearly not working. Simple to accept and move forward. That's right. We got a blank slate. Mo, how you doing? Jerry, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you, Jerry. Debbie. Mo says he's all done. Hi, Karen. One good thing, yeah. Vivek will never come whoa. We get that off the screen. Don't want to mess my broadcast up. Get out of here. Boom. It's hard to read with a white background, read the chats. So, he can't become president of the country because he wasn't born here. But he's, if he's going to run for anything, Yeah, there's supposed to be advisors. That's right. Dreamer says Scaramucci model, right? Yeah, he learned a lesson not to stick his head in the beehive again. So, Laura Loomer, like I said, you always think of the doctor hitting the knee. Most normal people, their knee goes up a little bit. Laura's goes way up in the air. And Elon's, it's both feet in the air, kicking everybody in the ass. So they both need to cool their jets. He is going to have to, I think, if he wants credibility on X, if he gives her suspension for 3 days, 72 hours or something, because she said something about Indian people using a can in the street, using language, whatever. But I think if he wants credibility, he needs to reinstate her. I noticed she didn't post anything on Truth Today. Yesterday, she posted, let me see if I got it here. Yesterday, she posted, the last thing I believe she posted was this. Laura Loomer. Elon Musk insinuates Laura Loomer is I always thought that said AI terrorist, following her request for a civilized conversation. Now, I stayed off of X through all this stuff because, it will consume you. It will consume your day, okay? It's not the kind of thing that I want to do, even if they pay, And I'm glad I didn't go to some kind of premium thing and then all of a sudden this kind of crap happens, because it happens to Loomer, it can happen to me. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that too. If he doesn't restore the accounts that hurt his itty bitty feelings, okay, he's going to lose. After all this hard work to build X up, do the right thing. Okay, we had a tiff, all right? I blew a cork. All right. Let's start over again. Kumbaya, bring people back. You'll be okay. And the other thing is this controversy. What's going on at Blue Sky, where all the lefties go to cry? Well, they're missing out, man. I guarantee you thousands and thousands and thousands of them came back to X just to watch the show, and they're biting their lip wanting to get their 2 cents in. Oh, boy, I can pick on Laura Loomer. I can pick on Steve Bannon. Excuse me while I have a sip of my coffee. I can get into this brouhaha with supposedly MAGA. Oh, wait a minute. I deleted my account. Oh my God. Oh no. Some of them did, just quit posting on it because they didn't delete their accounts. They come back in. So it expands the conversation. So there is good to this. There's good to this. And it's drawing people in that would otherwise never speak to each other and stirring up thought. How many people knew the difference between the HB1 or wherever it is, H1B, and the O1, and why they're there in the first place? Now we have a much broader consensus. And MAGA is not, and Trump in particular, is not viewed entirely as an anti-immigrant person. So maybe there's a method to the madness. I don't know. What is this? Here's something here about Elon. I could just see the picture since I'm talking about it. Here's the Welt. And they got some in German up there, but Musk is openly rooting for the alternative for Germany. The German authorities are most likely furious. You never know. Elon called this party, which they are trying to ban in every way, the last spark of hope for Germany. So some big shot over there in Germany in the government said Elon Musk was the number 2 threat to humanity, or some dramatic crap like that, behind, I believe, Putin instead of Trump. So Elon's been catching it from all over the place, and I can see why he had a short fuse. But you know what? When you're in a PSYOP operation, I don't know if this is totally unplanned. I don't believe this is totally spontaneous and unplanned. All right? Because you know, like I said, a lot of good comes out of communication, even if it's yelling at each other, as long as it settles down and gets to a rational conversation. All right? But in some cases, you never start talking unless some people start yelling at each other first. So, Clandestine put, Trump comes out in support of visas for highly skilled workers, which has always been his stance. There's a massive difference between legal immigration for productive members of society and a wide open border for millions to pour in unchecked. So that's a good example of defining this conversation. Defining it. Not to have the left like Stink Uger or dopey David Pakman come out with their pseudo logic and rehearse insults of Trump to shape a narrative about immigration. Everybody wants to watch a cat fight. Everybody wants to watch a boxing match. Everybody wants to watch a wrestling match. Who's going to win? What's going to... That's what is bringing people in to watch this. Trump's the referee, okay? What is this? I got to make sure I get everything out of my studio. So, me trying to understand why we're being judged by our credit score while the USA is $34 trillion in debt. I think by the time this meme was made, it's probably 37 trillion by now. I don't know. It's rising exponentially. Exponentially. So what is this one here? Here we go. From Clandestine. And again, he's talking, pretty much the way I'm looking at it. The left are desperate to turn this debate into something bigger than it actually is. The idea of individual thought is foreign to the left, as they excommunicate anyone who even slightly disagrees with the prescribed left-wing doctrine. MAGA just proved they are not a cult, but rather a large collection of differing opinions. The umbrella is wide. We are not going to agree about everything, but we agree on the most important thing, which is that a deep state exists. And the Dems Uniparty have gone bat you-know-what crazy and must be destroyed. We all agree we must get rid of this woke infestation. On exactly how to go ahead about getting that done. This is what a healthy society is supposed to look like. The left are just so used to being a deranged religious cult that they view any disagreement or debate as heresy. So, yeah, they can come over and put their 2 cents in, and we will get a consensus that makes sense. A consensus that makes sense to us, right? Everybody. But with the deep division and stuff, it's too hard to do without. Here, look at this. Did you all know? Do we got anybody from the UK? Because this is what it's boiling down to, folks. Never mind the HB1 visas or this or that. Okay? UK government to offer cash bonuses to families who want to euthanize their elderly relatives. Did you know that you get a little Christmas money or a little walking around money? What's Grandpa doing? Grandpa. We got to go down to the health clinic. What for? Anyway, yeah. We got moral issues and people that want to drive us down into the ground and beyond. How many of you all ever heard of this guy? Whoa. Let him come back on the screen. How many of you all have heard about this guy? Former Pfizer Vice President, Dr. Mike Yeadon. Have you all ever heard this guy, Yeadon? Drops a bombshell, claiming that the mRNA CVID VAXs were deliberately engineered to harm, disable, and KILL, with the ultimate goal. What's the ultimate goal? Reducing human fertility. Oops, there's Grandpa again. He's going to be one recommended to get the shot. So anyway, did you all ever hear this person? Lori has. Miss Minister said, nope. Oh, Karen, you have to take that name down. Next time, misspell it, please. Ha, ha, ha. You know which name I'm talking about. You're going to get me in trouble. I'm glad that didn't happen at the beginning because I was very grumpy after what Rumble did. Very grumpy. So anyway, let me see if I've got that clip to play of this individual. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Let's see how the sound does. And I believe he has an accent, but you should be able to make out what he's saying. This would be a good one to get a clip of and share it around.
If you've followed me, you'll know I over 30 years in research in the pharmaceutical industry and biotech. I trained in toxicology and I worked with colleagues designing experimental molecules that we hoped would become medicines. That gives me the credentials to stand, as it were, in the shoes of the designers of these vaccines and answer the question, what were you thinking when you made these design decisions? Now, you can go and watch any of my interviews, but I'll cut. But I am sure, not slightly but sure, these materials were designed intentionally to harm, maim, and kill, and to reduce human fertility. That is my verdict, and I can stand it up. I will be in court, Supreme Court in Costa Rica very shortly, and I'll be using exactly this argument, but I will give the detail. That's the first point. So don't take these injectables. Don't take the next lot either. They will also be designed to harm you. All mRNA-based materials are dangerous. Don't take.
Well, he is telling on them. He's telling the world. He's putting himself at risk to have people hear the truth. And I've got my title. Dr. Fauci's back, right? Dr. Fauci. What were we talking about yesterday and the day before? About the bird and then flu, right? And I don't mean flew over our heads. I mean the old-timey flu, okay? So here's Fauci coming out. So now we see him just after we saw the video I played us. Same usual suspects.
Now, let me tell you the sobering news. The sobering news is that can change because the virus infects more than one species, and we know it can infect pigs. Pigs are on farms with chickens and with cows, and chickens and cows can infect with their virus a pig, and then a human virus can go into pig, and then you could get a reassortment of a virus that has some of the dangerous qualities of H5N1 and some of the capability of spreading from human to human of a human virus. So that's what public health officials are concerned about, that when you have the circulation of this virus in multiple species, including a mixing bowl species like a pig, you might get a reassortment and a mutation that could make this something we really have to be concerned about. And that's the reason why the CDC says, although currently the risk in general is low, we still have to pay close attention to the possibility that might change.
Building up fear, okay? Look at her eyes. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to do it. No, like hell. We're not going through this again, okay? We're not going through this. And I've got some more reports that people are putting out about this bird stuff, okay? Bird flu. And a couple more videos I'm going to play for you all. Here's something Trump put up. Now, people, while this brouhaha was going on, I'm paying attention to stuff Trump puts up. You know, while everybody's going crazy with Elon and Vivek. Should a woman go to jail for falsely accusing a man of the big R word? Re-truth if you want justice. That's what Trump truthed out yesterday, okay? E. Jean Carroll and that, what's his face? George Conway, is that his name? The Hobbit? And that creep from LinkedIn and the what Trump called preverts from the Lincoln Project. They're all worried about that post. Trump put this out too. Retruth this from somebody named Carlos. And President Trump got elected 3 times. There's no way you know how Joe Biden got 81 million votes. Can you imagine being somebody like Carlos, put up a little something like that? Next thing you know, the man himself retruths you. Wouldn't that be a trip, Let's see what else. Something else for them all to worry about. Are the Democrats allowed to pay $11 million, $2 million, and $500,000 to get the capital letters endorsement of Beyonce, Oprah, and Reverend Al? I don't think so. Beyonce didn't sing. Oprah didn't do much of anything. She called it expenses. And Al is just a third-rate con man. So what is going on here? Totally against the law. And I have heard there are many others. So nobody on the left side is having a comfortable holiday season. Here's something else, Mr. T. Retruth. Somebody named Call It Out. We go weeks without hearing the name of Joe Biden in the media. When we do, it's usually an announcement that he's giving more aid away to foreign entities or pardoning a red rummer. He is still the sitting president, though he probably spends most time in the horizontal position. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is moving mountains, changing the world. The media every day is flooded with decisions and announcements Donald Trump is making. We would argue Donald Trump was president from November 5th. In the eyes of the world, power has shifted already. It's a new day, and it's a new world. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Now that was a retruth by Mr. T himself. Out of, I don't know how many thousands does his staff and team go through. So this gives me encouragement, okay? It gives me encouragement. Sit back and enjoy the ride. That's kind of like enjoy the show, right? Here's something else. This is about, I didn't get to put this up the other day. In a major crucial win for America and our national security, a judge in Texas, based on papers we filed, prohibited the Biden administration from selling any materials designated for the border wall that has been wrecked by Biden and his cronies, and which I am going to rebuild in order to protect our country from violent migrant crime, fentanyl smuggling, sex trafficking, terror attacks, and other heinous nation-ending disasters. Here's the good part. Well, it's all good, but another good part. The judge has also ordered an investigation into the illegal selling of materials, which will expose just how corrupt and anti-American radical Democrats are. I am honored to be joined in this vital case by the great states of Texas and Missouri and applaud Judge Drew Tipton for doing the right thing for our country. We have to protect our borders and save America. MAGA. Now look at this. The judge also ordered an investigation into the selling of materials. Judges can do that sort of thing. If it's called a criminal referral, okay? aid that we don't know about. Okay? What have people called them before? Shadow dockets? Shadow dockets? I don't know. Now, Laura Loomer bringing up this thing about people from certain countries using the can, not even the can, but just going right on the street. Okay? It happens. They do. All right? Not all of them, but it's a thing. Just like that young girl from Haiti posted a TikTok and said, listen, everybody talking about this business about cats. I can tell you, I grew up in Haiti. I've been here 11 years, but it's fresh in my mind. People ate cats, and they still do in Haiti, among other things Americans would find greatly distasteful, right? So in other words, when we do immigration, lawful immigration, we want to make sure people speak the language, people know our history, people don't drop trowel and use the bathroom in the streets, and they don't go around looking in people's yards saying, wow, that looks like a very juicy dog. So we have to have some discernment, right? Here we go. A mother arrested trying to flee to Canada after she and her husband allegedly tried performing, quote, an honor KILLing on their daughter for refusing to be shipped to Iraq for an arranged marriage. Zahra Subi Mohsin Ali, say that 10 times fast, was charged with attempted red rum, kidnapping, and assault. The 17-year-old daughter ran away from home after her parents tried to ship her to Iraq. When they found her at Timberline High School, what is that, in Washington? Is that home of the Cougars or rah-rah all-American teams? I don't know. In Washington, the father, Insan Ali, was seen beating his daughter while classmates tried to save her. The girl's 16-year-old boyfriend, imagine your son, 16 years old, eventually was able to free her as her father tried choking her out. Okay, there's a video I, of course, cannot play, but I took a screenshot. Here is one of these new neighbors, misunderstood from a foreign country. You see his bald head behind the leg there. He's got his daughter underneath in a headlock trying to end her. Okay? And there are 15, 16-year-olds screaming and yelling, trying to stop this grown man from doing an honor. They call it an honor unaliving, okay? An honor life-ending event. I'll put it that way, since I don't like saying the other term. So, did I already put this one up? I believe I did, yeah. What's this one? Oh. Anybody hear about this? I didn't. It's a, 43-second clip of looking at buildings in the dark. I didn't want to go through uploading that. A power outage lasting 10 hours where? Greenland. What's this all about? Capital of Nuuk, N-U-U-K, as temperatures drop to minus 17 degrees. I wonder who's behind that. Maybe that's just a coinky-dink. Don't you know? It's a coinky-dink. Now this was, Dan Scavino didn't post anything today. Laura Loomer didn't post anything today. I didn't get a chance to check Diamond Silk, but they didn't post anything yesterday. But the last post they put up, just want to let you all know, says, Merry Christmas. Jesus is the reason for the season, and we have so much to be grateful for. But this Christmas season feels different. Something feels strange and everything seems rushed. I don't know, but I do know something ain't right. How y'all feeling out there, Silk? I thought that was odd, and I checked yesterday. She didn't post anything. Earlier today, she didn't post it. She may have posted something sometime today, but I've been so frustrated and working with trying to upload videos that I didn't see it. But 3 people that usually post haven't been posting that much. Very odd. Here's an update from Lebanon. Priest carries rifle during church service in Lebanon. He's got it slung over his shoulder. And I allude to this and I show this picture to remind us all to be grateful that we're not in so many other places in the world. Okay? Just like I was saying, the American people endured a lot of abuses, a lot of unfairness, a lot of treachery. Okay? And we still did our civic duty and voted in Donald Trump. And we had the opportunity to make it too big to rig. We don't have priests having AK-47 slung over their shoulder, and you never know when the door is going to get kicked in. At least we're not at that point. But many millions of people around the world are. Now, speaking of that, they have, let's see, they had a group of Syrian officers. Let me see if I can find it. Syrian officers that were, unfortunately for them, if I can find the post, unfortunately for them, they were deported back to Syria. Okay, they were officers in the, what's his name? Assad regime. Okay. Oh, I have the video. I just want to see if I can find the story. Anyway, I'm not sure where they were. They might have been in Lebanon, but they made them get out of Lebanon and put them on a plane. And like I'm saying, at least we don't have a political situation like this. Can you imagine being the former administration and you get deported forcibly back to your country after you left because the new administration was going to be headhunting you? Anyway, here they are getting processed back in their own country they fled from. That's future, a very bleak future. People are going to take vengeance on them and all sorts of things. Hey, that's not the life we're living, right? For now, anyway. Get a load of this. Is this a psyop or what? In case of crisis or war, there is not enough space for 30,000 coffins. Sweden has begun searching for burial sites in the event of a possible war. The Associated Press reports. Funeral services across the country are scrambling to find land to prepare for potential mass graves. The Swedish Contingencies Agency recommended doing this in light of the country's ascension to NATO and worsening relations with Russia in the Baltic region. In the city of Gothenburg, for example, A funeral association is looking for about 10 acres of land for the emergency placement of up to 30,000 coffins. Here's the article. Sweden embarks on a sober search for more cemetery space in case of war. Do you remember when they started that story up that there were so many people that passed away in New York from the CVID that they had to bury people in Central Park? And then they showed drone footage of mass graves stacked 4 and 5 high being buried, and was scaring everybody, when it was really a pauper's grave on an island. Once or twice a month, they take homeless people, prisoners with no family who pass away, and they take them to that island. I can't remember the name of the island, but they've been burying people there for years, decades. Okay, it's called a pauper's grave. And they used that footage. They found out when the next group of unclaimed souls, their earthly remains, were going, when they would be there. And they filmed it as if those people had passed away from the CVID. All right? A psyop to terrify people and keep them in their homes and damage our economy. And get Trump out of office. Oh, with 70 officers, here it is. 70 officers of the Foreign Syrian Army who fled to Lebanon, okay, have been deported to their homeland. The video I showed earlier shows their arrival in Damascus and their, quote, meeting with the militants who came to power. Yeah, it's not going to be good for them. China. Oh, my, what are they doing? They're building new or expanding up to 200 existing prisons across the country as part of a broad anti-corruption campaign. CNN reports. Is that possibly the where we're going to see countries with treaties enforcing RICO and a special military operation doing mass arrests in their own countries? I don't know. Maybe we will. This is from Vladimir Zelensky. I can't read all that, but it's somewhat translated down here. The public spat between Zelensky and Prime Minister Fico continues. Do you all remember Fico? I showed the video where an assassin shot him 5 times. Okay, remember that, folks, in the park? Let us recall that in response to Kiev's refusal to extend the transit of Russian gas, Fico threatened to stop supplying electricity to Ukraine. Today, Zelensky responded to this, accusing Fico of opening a second front against Ukraine. It looks like Putin has instructed Fico to open a second energy front, Zelensky said. Well, they already tried to take Fico out once already, and it didn't work. But he was very severely injured and was in the hospital for a long time. Vladimir Putin. I talked about this bill but going before. The State Duma, apparently it passed. The State Duma is their version of Congress. Vladimir Putin has banned the admission of migrant children to schools without knowledge of Russian. He signed the corresponding law. That ties into what I showed you earlier about the honor ending of life by parents. You don't want people in that can't fit into your society. We don't need little high schools in Podunk, wherever, saying, oh my gosh, we got to start getting textbooks in Punjab and teachers that can teach Punjab or whatever that language is, any language besides the U.S. My mother had to learn it. Devin Nunes put this out. This is when I knew it was a coordinated throwing cold water on. Heather Mullen said, grateful for Truth Social after watching good friends start losing verification checks and subscriptions the last 24 hours for merely voicing an opinion on X. Yeah, so there Elon got the message that he is stifling free speech, being a hypocrite. Here's Jimmy. I got this screenshot from Fox News. I didn't want to put the picture, a lot of them put those pictures up when he was at Rosalind's funeral and, when he was very close to the end of his life. I don't like doing stuff like that. I believe this picture is about 10 years old. He's about 90 years old. And as I said, Donald Trump put up some truths about that. Let me see if I've got that. Here we go. I just heard the news about the passing of President Jimmy Carter. Those of us who have been fortunate enough to have served as president understand this is a very exclusive club, and only we can relate to the enormous responsibility of leading the greatest nation in history. That was his first truth about it, right when it happened. Then he put this out. Let me see. Let me get this over here. There we go. Let's see. The extension of the... No, wait a minute. That I want to get to. The extension of the debt ceiling. Here we go. President Jimmy Carter is dead at 100 years of age. While I strongly disagreed with him philosophically and respected our country and all it stands for, he worked hard to make America a better place, and for that I give him my highest respect. He was truly a good man, also very consequential, far more than most presidents after he left the Oval Office. Warmest condolences from Melania and I to his wonderful family. So, I guess the news is going to gloss over. They may bring up the Panama thing. They're going to probably lightly mention the hostage crisis, a lot of the other foreign policy disasters that Carter got involved in, the economic destruction. He's passed away. It's a time of mourning. I believe we're going to be dealing with this for about 5 days. It was something that I had mentioned they might have had in their bag of tricks, okay, to disrupt the inauguration. But just like with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I believe it got to a certain point where, historical events, if it happened, it happened, and you got to deal with it when it happens, not when the left would rather it happens. That's right, Roland. He was okay as a humanitarian, but not a good president. Hotheads, okay. Rhinos will take advantage of hotheads and try to screw up agendas. And they pretty much did that with this government deal to keep the government open. Excuse me, I was sipping my coffee. That's good. But anyway, they had a deal, and we've been over that. Ended up getting something Trump wasn't real crazy about. So Trump addresses that, what he's going to be facing come his new term. I don't know how much of it the news media will report, but Trump says the extension of the McCarthy, a good September of the Biden administration to down as one of the dumbest political decisions made in years. There was no reason to do it. Nothing was gained, and we got nothing for it. A major reason why that speakership was lost. It was Biden's problem, not ours. Now, 29, because the Democrats don't care what our country may be forced into. In fact, they would prefer depression as long as it hurts the Republican Party. The Democrats must be forced to take a vote on this treacherous issue now, during the Biden administration, and not in June. They should be blamed for this potential disaster, not the Republicans. So let's see. Trump can't be any clearer, but they're pushing us to an economic catastrophe, okay? At the very least, they're going to spend all the money down to the last dirty dime and leave Trump with an impossible debt ceiling. Did you hear Biden say he regrets dropping out and that he thinks he could have beat Trump? A lot of people are calling that, Fox News had a thing on there that's delusional. Delusional thinking. Let me see what's going on in the chat. I don't know about that, Roland. Hi, CJ. How you doing? If they do not elect a speaker, DJT does not get in. Grassley would be. They're not trying to elect a speaker. They got another debt ceiling coming up. They got another some kind of vote to keep the government coming up in early January. That's what he's talking about. Hi, Tammy. Yeah, everybody's sick of it. I mean, I worked my whole life working for the man. Working for the man. Let's see what this is about. Oh, hey, Vivek. This guy. The World Chess Championship was just held in the U.S. by Russians. First place, Volodar Murzin. I never heard of him. Second place, Alexander Grishchuk. Third place, wow. Somebody take a shot at saying that. Nepomniachtchi. Okay. Congratulations to our men on their victory. I don't see anybody from India or so. What do you want to do? You want to get some kind of program to bring Russians over? Okay. How come we didn't get any of these galaxy brains to whip even one Russian? What's this one? Oh, plane crashes. Here's another one that landed on its belly. This isn't Canada. Our friends up in Canada. Did you hear about this, Roland? Another aviation emergency today in Canada. a local airline plane made an unsuccessful landing at Halifax Airport. The landing gear failed to open during landing, and as a result, the plane fell onto one wing. Fortunately, the passengers were saved. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. As far as the plane crash we talked about Friday, Putin has acknowledged that their air defense systems had something to do with it. Statement of the president of Azerbaijan. The facts are that the Azerbaijani civilian aircraft was damaged from outside on Russian territory near the city of Grozny and practically lost control. We also know that our aircraft was rendered uncontrollable, here's the key, by electronic warfare. He said it in an interview with Azerbaijani television. Electronic warfare. So they can take control of planes to some degree, right? Or interfere with their operation, okay, through the internet. They announced that Moscow must admit guilt, punish those responsible, and pay compensation in the situation with the crash. These are our conditions. The first of them was already provided yesterday, which is the statement by Putin, which I believe I have that in here. I hope that our other conditions will also be accepted, the president of Azerbaijan said. One of the things that upset and surprised us, and I read some of these statements Friday, was that Russian official structures put forward versions about the explosion of some gas cylinder. That is, it openly showed that the Russian side wants to hush up the issue, and this, of course, does no one credit. But like I said, I've got it in here somewhere, or I read it, that Putin made an address and said, yeah, we did it, and let me see if I can find it. Oh, that's about FICO. Okay, here we go. Putin called Aliyev, I guess the guy there in Azerbaijan, the head of the Russian Federation, that's Putin, apologized because of the, quote, tragic incident occurred in Russian airspace. The conversation took place at the initiative of the Russian Federation. Putin expressed deep and sincere condolences to the family of the victims. He also reported that the crash plane repeatedly attempted to land in Grozny, but at the time, Grozny, Mozdok, and whatever that is, were attacked by Ukrainian combat drones, and Russian air defense systems repelled their attacks. He didn't come right out and say it, but it's pretty much fessing up to it that they're, they were involved, okay? Presumably battling Ukrainian defense systems. Okay, I want to get to this business of the bird flu. Do you all recognize this lady? Isn't this who said her child had brain damage? I may be wrong. Is this a lady who said her child got brain damage from covering their face and breathing in their own CO2? Developmentally damaged? This is her now talking about the bird stuff, okay?
What should be happening in the Biden administration right now that isn't going on? Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? I mean, that's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
Dr. Wen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals. People infected so far in the US have been mainly farm workers who are working, presumably generally healthy, as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
Here we go with the fear factor again, right? They're trying to do a 2020 redux, all right, or redo, or however you say that in French. So, like I got on the screen, Trump says, I don't trust anyone, and neither do we. And I'll tell you what, if I get it, I'm going to do just like any other time I got the crud. We used to call it the crud. I go home and eat some chicken flipping soup, okay? And I don't go out. And I try not to spread it around. And I watch TV or whatever, play solitaire, drink a little bit of whiskey or whatever. And then when it's done, I go, I'm okay. I feel better. I'm done. And you protect the elderly. But here they're talking about, you heard FAUCHI, he was talking about all the possible ways people can get it and all this other crap. This is somebody else talking about it. So again, with CNN, this is CNN. Oh, now this isn't the bird flu. This is Biden's final legacy. I had another report of how they were. Oh, I guess I didn't get that upload. Where they're BSing about how the elderly are more affected and how quick it can blossom into something where we got to take some kind of national action. So I play more propaganda in the first place. I wish I had it in, but that's okay. You already heard about the former Pfizer vice president. Okay, I already played that. Just the testing kits that they put out, they make hundreds of millions of dollars. Never mind if they come up with some kind of VAX, right? Some kind of VAX. So anyway, now that we've Jimmy Carter has passed, here we've got they're talking about Biden's legacy. This lady here, Scott Jennings, gets to put in like 3 words, well, more than that, but you look at this round table, it shrunk. They used to have at least 2 more people on there. And Scott Jennings looks like he's kind of puked out listening to this bunch, but he at least gets to say a little something, that Biden is pretty much a failure. But listen how they spin it. And I know how hard it must be for him to keep quiet listening to this crap, but I'll play it anyway.
But Joe Biden's record with regard to the things that he's accomplished, I think will stand the test of time. Now, what my dear friend Scott and others will talk about, and quite frankly, I'm going to say this, on it, rightfully so, it was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he's still... Some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Well, there were more than
including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave office in disgrace. The Hunter Biden pardon was disgraceful. He's going to be remembered largely for inflation and for the disastrous Afghanistan pullout. And I think as we continue to, we're just getting the first draft of this now, but as we continue to learn about the massive cover-up that went on, not about his health, but about his mental acuity, to cover that up, the efforts that were undertaken by the White House staff, by his family, not in the last couple of months, but for all 4 years, I think it's going to be a really ugly chapter. It's a diminished presidency because of it. And I think we still don't know the full extent of what they did to try to hide what they've been doing over in the West Wing.
So I think leaving in disgrace is when you have an insurrection at the state.
Here comes the talking points. Here comes the smears on Trump and the media talking points. The bottom line is everybody and their brother knew that his brain was gone. Trump said it before. Had a problem with his brain. And this lady that talked at first was talking about how he heard Scott Jennings lay it out and said it's going to be disgrace. His legacy will be disgrace. Now let's see this idiot's response to it. He disagrees. The great Joe Biden was not a disgrace.
Capital. Like, that's leaving in disgrace. Being impeached twice is leaving in disgrace. So that's a difference. I think Joe Biden's going to be remembered in the short term for what you were talking about, whether or not he had the capacity to lead, who knew what when. I mean, there are many people outside of the very small network of Anita Dunn and Valerie Biden Owens and Jill Biden and Hunter. There aren't many people who knew the concerns that were there or whether or not he was up or fit for the job. And so those questions will be asked. Over the long term, this is somebody a lot like Mitch McConnell. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything they stood for. You don't have to agree with every vote, but you always knew they put the American people first.
Yeah, always did for the American people. That's why they just released, the National Archives just released the pictures of his 2 business partners, okay? And this business of Trump being impeached twice. He was acquitted twice, and he was impeached by a corrupt Congress that probably had no business banging the gavel and going into session and passing laws. Corrupt and occupied Congress, occupied by foreign powers with a nefarious agenda. Now, I'm going to play this little video here. And it's talking about our future of this country, right, folks? And what I want to say also is that I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And I appreciate everyone that's giving me a thumbs up tonight. Everybody that went to buy me a coffee, Mike and Bev, Miss Minda Sue, and who was? I had a new one come in there. Oh my gosh, was it? I didn't see his name in here tonight. Well, I'll give you a shout out tomorrow. I can't pull that screen up or I will get kicked out of my studio. So I had a new person sign up and I will welcome them tomorrow. Yeah, J6. Oh, Debbie, you put that in there. Yeah, the moron's going to be remembered as a loser. And the Congress that impeached Donald Trump is going to go down in history as the most corrupt Congress in the history of the country. Todd, yeah, there you go. Todd, thank you much. I appreciate it. Ha, ha, ha. Let me write Todd down. All right. That was your first time on Buy Me a Coffee, wasn't it, Todd? I appreciate it so much. I got a link in the description. Anybody want to help the channel out? And for people watching after the live, the link does work after the live stream if you want to help support the channel. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this little video. I might even play Vladimir Putin at the end. Everybody likes a blow-up video of Vladimir Putin. But anyway, this is a nice little video about the future of the Western Hemisphere under Donald J. Trump. But anyway, thank you all so much for spending your precious time with me. I'll probably be going live tomorrow. And everybody on Rumble, stick with me. I'll keep sticking with Rumble. Just having a little fit tonight. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Enjoy the video. And I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
But what if Canada became the 51st state of the United States? If Canada joined the U.S., the flag would gain a 51st star, and the U.S. would be square kilometers, overtaking Russia. Canada's 40 million people would increase the U.S. population to 373 million, keeping it Canada's 2.9 trillion GDP would make it the third wealthiest state just after California and Texas. The U.S. defense budget would grow by $26 billion, and American dominance in the Arctic would expand, reinforcing its global influence. However, this merger would spark international concerns. Russia could bolster its Arctic military presence, while China might have to rethink its strategies in the Pacific. Mexico, heavily dependent on the U.S., would face pressure to diversify its partnerships to maintain economic stability.
Want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little